All right. You recording? This mic mount's awful. Okay.
Man, if only I knew a guy who knew how to fix things.
Well, it's stripped out, and it really is like... I've tried to tighten it, and it's just...
Dude, did you not watch enough MacGyver as a kid?
I was going to put some bubble gum on it, but I was afraid to...
Dude, if you put the bubble gum and some aluminum foil, it might blow up the train, so don't do that.
Yeah. Anyways...
You got to fix that, bro.
I know. It's been like this since we got it, and I thought I was going to, like... stick a screwdriver in from this side and tighten it, but it's tight. It's just like cross-threaded and won't get tighter and stripped out. It's a piece of junk, okay? It's like a $13 mount, if that. So, anyways, it's held up great. If I don't touch it, it doesn't move, and then I don't have to be concerned about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I get to look at it, and now the microphone's like on like a 3-degree tilt, and that just messes with my OCD.
Yeah.
Because I'm OCD, which is why I have 4 children.
I'm trying to catch up, you know. We got number 3 on the way, Alejandra. What do you think about that? What was your reaction when I first told you?
I had to check what month we were in to make sure it wasn't April Fool's.
And I was like, listen, I'm here for competition. I can't let you outnumber me. I'm calling in for backup.
I was like, man, he really heard my conversation. And I was like, we need to increase revenue, and you're like, hold my beer, I got this, right?
Like, we need more baby pictures. Like, all right.
Well, it was interesting, right? Because so obviously we had the twins, and you were around for that picture, but Anders, we were having a business meeting, like in the kitchen, because we were bootstrapping it. We were just trying to make ends meet and grow this thing. And that's when Emily's up there like, get up here now, and I'm like, woman, be quiet, I'm working.
We're having a meeting.
Get up here, and I was like, yes, ma'am. And then she hands me, obviously, the birth control, or not birth, pregnancy test. And I was just like, okay, now I have to walk down and like, hi, Beav. This conversation just took a major left turn. And
Can you keep a secret? And I was like...
And then we did it again. And I was just like, hey, Beav, remember that time that we were having a meeting, and then I trumped the meeting? Well, I'm going to trump the trumped meeting. And so literally when you told me this, I didn't even know how to process it. It was like what? I was like, we keep kidding around. It was like, well, it'd be great, Beav, if you had another kid, because, I don't social media. So it's like, we could really use you having the kid. Yeah. And then Brandy would be kidding around. Like,
she wanted a third child.
I want a
so
kid.
bad.
I want a kid. And obviously always... everyone's just kind of like kidding. So when you told me that, I was like, I knew you weren't lying. You know what I mean? But
it was a very serious conversation. It's like, I need to talk to you outside.
I was like, ooh, okay. Like, we got to go to the principal's office here. I was like, yeah, it's still like, I'm so fresh, obviously in the newborn stage 2, that it's like, I'm still just trying to process it for you, because you're like, you're like 7 years out. Yeah,
we like that ship had sort of sailed for us, and we were like, Brandy is always like, we could have I want another baby. She always gets like baby fever, especially when she's around other babies. She's like, I want another one
constantly hear
so
about
bad.
me having all my tribe.
Yeah, like, you just had a baby, and I'm like,
yeah. Do you like sleeping?
I'm like, we're so past that stage. Like, not that we didn't love it, but it's like that's a big commitment to like, yeah, let's just have a third one. Yeah. Like,
let's just bring more life into the
both
world.
the kids are in elementary school. There's like no daycare, no diapers, and like that's not the most like. There's a lot of great memories that come from those times, but it's like it's a lot of work, and like we got a lot going on. So to like just make that commitment is very difficult.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I didn't really make that decision. The problem was...
What happened was...
I closed my eyes, okay? Rule number 1, never close your eyes.
That's what they need to teach kids in sex ed in high school, right? It's like, well...
Should I tell... Have I ever told the close your eyes story?
I don't know if you have.
I'll do a quick version of it because it's pretty funny. Because people are like, what do you mean close your eyes? I mean, people probably get it now.
Yeah.
So this is like... I don't know. I was probably my early 20s, mid 20s, maybe. This was before I had kids. We were out late one night, and we ended up at Squat and Gobble at like 3, 4 in the morning, And we had been out, having a good time. And we had a group of us, and I go in there and I see a couple other of my buddies in there. It's, again, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, yo, what up, dude? And he's like, yo, Beav, what up? And so we hadn't seen each other for a few years, so we're catching
Right.
up for a minute and all this stuff. He's like, I'm like, yo, what's good? You know, so that's what's up with me. Like, what's good with you? You know? And he's like, yo, dog, man, I closed my eyes. Can you? I'm like, what does that mean? he's like, man, I'm having a baby, boy. He's like, he's like, Beav, I'm telling Boogie, hey, I'm telling you, don't close your eyes. Yeah, I'm like, I'm dying. Of course, I had a few drinks, so it was like even funnier.
Yeah.
And so that's the quick version of it. So now, anytime someone like has a baby or whatever, it's like, oh, you closed your eyes. So it's just a funny reference, but. At any rate,
You did.
I closed my eyes. And you know what's funny is every time like things are really bad at home and the kids are being complete assholes and Brandy's like losing her mind, I'm like, we could have another one. She's like, shut up. I'm like, see, you don't want another one. That's like, it's a big commitment. And I don't want it to sound like it's like a super negative thing, because it's not. It's super awesome and it's fun. It has its moments. And once you've been through it twice, and you're so far past that, you're like, do I really want to start over?
Yeah.
Like, really want to hit the reset button? Anyway, sometimes you don't get to make that decision, and it happens, you know. Yeah. And it was really funny because I was like, actually super pumped about it. Like, I was like, this is awesome. Yeah. You know, I was like unbelievably excited. And Brandy, like initially, she was just like pissed because we were supposed to go to Mexico. These guys have already heard this because we talked about it with Brandy, but like, you know, and I get a phone call. Like, it's so funny. I gave her crap because I'd like just pulled out of the driveway and I get a phone call from her. I'm like, oh, did I leave something? Like, what? You know, was in the house. She's like, I'm pregnant. And she was like pissed about it. She's like, I'm fucking pregnant. I'm like, huh? She's like, I knew I wasn't going to get to go to Mexico. And I'm like, all right, that's how you. I'm like, there's way better ways to tell me.
I'm literally in the driveway. Like, you couldn't have been like, come inside.
Right. I'm like, there's way better ways to tell someone. You're pregnant.
But I mean, it's a shock regardless.
Yeah. I mean, Emily had the same experience.
Get
right?
up here
She's
now.
Like,
I'm like, what?
I'm pregnant. It's like, and you're like, how did this happen? Like, oh, I closed my eyes. But yeah, it's just super. Anyway, so we're super pumped about it. And
so, I mean,
it's fun.
Your kids are at an age where they can understand it, because mine would be like, you're having a baby brother. They're like, cool, can I get a lollipop?
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah. So we told the kids, we tell the kids, and I've got it all filmed, and like, and that's the cool part for me now is like being in the position that we're in and with the business that we have. Like, I documented a lot of stuff with the previous kids, but not nearly enough. And there's a lot of times where I'm like, man, I wish I had like more moments captured, that because you quickly forget too. Like, you go,
it's kind of like the
your
reason
kid turns 2, and then you're like, look back, you know, you're looking back at old pictures or something, and you're like, oh my God, like this was at 2 weeks. Like, I can't even remember this kid. I feel like
it's done that way so you keep having more, because like you're like, I mean, think about it. You're like, man, like what did I do the past 4 months of my life? And you're like, and then the kid will smile or something, or like, you know, Thomas is cooing at you now, and it's like, oh.
Right. Yeah, it's fun.
I can't believe I've got more space to, you know, love another human being, kind of like. But then you're like, well, like 3 weeks ago, it was like, this is 4 a.m. What is happening? I want to, you know.
Yeah. It's so funny that you quickly forget those sleepless nights. Yeah. I know I had them, but I can't. I mean, I could tell you like funny stories about like Cameron not letting me sit down. Like, I'd have to walk around the house holding her and carrying her because she was crying. So I'd like picked her up, and then as soon as I thought she was asleep, I'd go to sit down, and I'd be like, it's like 2 a.m. Yep. I'm in my underwear. I'm like I'm going to sit down on the couch and try to go to sleep.
Because your back is on fire, because you're
holding this thing. I'm like walking laps around the kitchen and living room. You're like, all right, she's asleep. As soon as my butt would touch the couch, she's I'm like, oh my God. So
you gotta get the rocker. You kind of like gotta
go. But it's like, I remember that happened, but like the sleepless night. So like, I'm just like, I don't remember being tired, or like, I'm sure it sucked. I think it sucked. I'm just going to assume it sucked, but you know, whatever. Right.
I mean, you know, as we say, you got to embrace it.
Yeah. And
it's just part of it.
So they grow up so fast, and you're like, I can look at pictures and be like, oh yeah, that's right. Cameron was like this super fat baby. But like, it's so hard to like really have like a tangible memory of it. It just like goes so fast. So anyways, I say all that because, you know, it's exciting now that like we're in the business we're in. We're in the baby business, which I wasn't before. I used to build custom cars. So like documenting my child's like the journey, even from day one of like Brandy being pregnant and all the stuff, which we're doing now. And I'm shooting video of all that and putting vlogs together and all that stuff. And it's really cool. I don't care at this point because I've been able to, like, even the vlogs that you and I have made around business stuff and traveling and all that stuff, like, I don't even care if anybody ever watches it because it's so cool, especially now to see where we're at now and to go back and watch, like, some of the early episodes of you and I traveling and doing things.
Because I was filming it.
And meeting people.
And I'm not a videographer.
But, like, and meeting with people and all stuff and, like, what that has turned into, like, just to have that memory to be able to go back and watch. So like whether anybody watches it or not, I don't care because I have it and I can watch it in 50 years. My grandkids can watch it. You guys can watch. Like it's super cool. So we've been documenting all that stuff in a completely different way than I did in the past. And I get to share it with our audience and our community, which will help people feel like they're not alone. You know, wife is home. She's sick. She's having morning sickness, ridiculous cravings. I'm going to get stuff in the middle of the night, because whatever. Like,
what's that look like this go around? And can you remember what like ridiculous cravings or smells? Like, because I remember cooking something for Emily with the twins, and this is when we were still in Charlotte. It was a small house, so I'm cooking it up, and she literally went into like she had to go into the garage because it was raining outside, and she got into her car and closed the door. Like, obviously, didn't turn it on because, you know, but like she just had to sit in the garage in the car until I like opened up all the windows and like aired the house out because whatever smell was, it was just like.
Brandy did that, not to that, but she made me quit cooking when I was cooking. And
is that because you're not a chef? Or
no, I was just like cooking something that was like frozen and I was like in a skillet and like heating it up to cook it or something. And this was like, I think this was the first time around. She had like come home from work from the lighthouse and I was cooking dinner because she would, you know, she was working super late. She worked, it was like they closed with the sunset. Anyways, but she came home and she was like, she's like, what are you cooking? And then so like the rest of the time she was pregnant, like I couldn't cook whatever that was. I can't remember now, but like that wasn't ever getting cooked or eaten ever again.
Yep.
You know, and it's so funny because, and then she had like super interesting cravings. I'm trying to remember exactly what they were, but I remember a few times. Pregnant women are like psychopaths. Like they get it in their mind that there's something they want or need, and it's happening right now. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts or negotiations about it. Like, yeah, I know I just woke you up. It's 2:00 in the morning. I need some Ritz crackers, like right now.
Make this happen.
And I'm like, yeah, cool. I'll get you some in the morning. She's like, no, now. And I'm like, yeah, in the morning I'll go get some.
Like,
not gonna happen.
You.
So I remember distinctly like going to Kroger at like because it's 24 hours and it was like 2, 3 in the morning to get some couple random things that she was like, no, like I need these
this
right now.
Happen.
I'm like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
especially like, that time. That was like the first time around where I was like, anything you tell me, like, I got you. You know what I mean? And I've told this story before. Like her and I had just started dating. So I wasn't going to be like, yeah, pound sand. Like you're waiting until the morning. Like we were like a new relationship. She's pregnant. Like she and I are still trying to be super nice to each other. And like, we're trying to figure it out. Like we want this to work and last and all these things. So I went like a way above and beyond to make sure she had everything she needed and wanted. I still make sure she has what she wants now, but she might wait till the morning now. Like 10 years later. Yeah. I'll get it in the morning.
I might not have the Ritz crackers, but we got some saltines. Is that good enough? I tell you what, though, like, thank goodness. I mean, I don't know if the species on this planet would be as prolific if men were the ones having the babies, though. I tell you what, it takes it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
After witnessing all like I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because like not only do you feel, you know, you get in the second trimester and you get that stride of like most women, from what I've heard,
get some energy back.
You get that energy back and you feel much better. And then towards the end, it's like, get this thing out of me.
Yeah.
Like, rightfully so.
There's like a nice sweet window where like everything's going well. They've their
Yeah.
energy, they're happy. They got their cute baby bump, and then it gets like past the point of no return. They're
And
like,
it's like,
I'm so over this.
It's like-
I can't stand on my feet anymore. I can't see my feet anymore. I'm like, don't fit into any clothes. I'm uncomfortable. My skin's stretching.
Like,
Everything.
Yeah.
Get this thing out of me.
And,
I'm over it.
You know, I get the common cold, and I'm like, I must be dying.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me.
So that's where she's at now.
Because I mean, you can't even take like medications and everything else. So it's like I'm like, you know what? I think I got a little bit of a sore back from exercising. Let's get 800 milligrams of ibuprofen stat.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I had the flu while I was pregnant, and I couldn't take anything. Suck it up. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's why you're a stronger person than me.
Yeah, Emily is super strong, like
Well,
in
but
more
I mean,
ways
any
than
woman
one.
bringing a
Physically,
life into the
mentally,
world, I mean,
like
come
she's
on. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Don't want to do it. You need those Ritz crackers. Got it.
Got you, girl. Yeah. So that's where Brandy's at currently. Is we are like 8 weeks in. We just had our first. So at the time of recording this, which is October 23rd. We still have yet to tell everybody. So it's been really hard to keep a secret because around the office, we're all talking about it super open and like, how are we going to do an announcement? We got to do something crazy and fun and creative and over the top and blah, blah, blah. So like, and then like leave the doors and I'm like, I can't say anything about it, And then the kids, like Brandy and I are talking about it. So the kids were like, don't forget, this is a secret. You can't tell anybody, So over the next few weeks when we figure out when we can say something about it, but we just had our first ultrasound this week, so that was like a crazy like real moment.
It's like hear the heartbeat.
Having the positive pregnancy test, or like 8 positive pregnancy tests, because Brandy's like, this has got to be wrong. Like, there's no way.
So what was told to me though is you might have a false negative, but you cannot have a false positive.
Yeah,
because the thing that reacts with it is only there if you're pregnant. Now you might have had depending on where, if it was a very early like miscarriage or something, it could still be in there and it not be a viable pregnancy.
Right.
But nevertheless.
You know what's interesting is that there's a large number of pregnancies that don't make it, that are like terminate like super early, and people never even know they're pregnant, which is like just kind of mind-boggling to me. But at any rate, it's just like that real moment, and people that have had children know that moment. But if you haven't, it's like, you get that positive test and you're like, holy shit, okay, I'm pregnant, like we're having a baby, da 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 da. And then when you finally see the ultrasound and they're like, oh, there's the baby, and it's like this little and they turn on the sound thing and you hear the heartbeat and they're like, you can see the heartbeat in the on the monitor, and you're like, holy shit, this is real. There's like
and it's like, that is the size of a pea.
Yeah, well, what's funny, she's like, okay, so you're exactly 8 weeks today and it's measuring this. So it's like between like a gummy bear and a shrimp. And Brandy goes, we're going to go with gummy bear. That's way cuter.
Fair enough. But it's crazy though, you know what I mean? Like that you're seeing like a valve flap.
Yeah, you're seeing this
and
little
it's like
flutter.
Literally the size of a gummy bear. You're like, how?
And it almost looks like a gummy bear. It's starting to form like arms and legs, and there's like a little head, and it's like these little stumps. It's so freaking weird, but it's really cool, and it's like, holy shit,
this is actually happening.
Yeah, I don't think that feeling ever goes away each time.
Yeah,
you tell me, you're a super pro, and it was really funny because you're like, how'd the ultrasound go? It's like, it's great. And there's only one. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
It didn't even like it so should have like popped into my brain. Because obviously for us, it was like every time we went in, every time we went in, the first ultrasound we went to, it was for Anders and Thomas. It was like,
but like, you predicted, you guys both, you knew, you're like, we are 100% we're gonna have twins. Like you were so. I don't know
why. Yeah, like because so Emily's dad's an identical twin, but I mean that's just a freak of nature. It's not like there is hereditary on the. I think it goes dad's mother's side is how that goes. Which like sure in their family there's 2 sets of fraternal twins because her grandmother's parents had 14 kids.
Yeah.
Hoo-ah. Pregnant for 10 years, so
this is Matt's family.
Matt's mom's side of the family, 14. and
Matt,
2 sets of fraternal twins in those 14.
Right. And
But
Matt comes from a big family too, right?
Yeah, 8.
Yeah.
And he's an identical twin. And my kids are identical, so it's like while we could have had the fraternal twins, it was kind of freak of nature in that sense. Is literally how like the doctor described it. It's like doesn't sound that eloquent. You're like, they're freaks. Couldn't use a better word than that, but I guess he's like literally describing. He's like, not they aren't, but like that's. I was like, okay, whatever, doc.
Yeah,
The hole's getting dug. Just stop.
It's just wild. Yeah. You've beat a lot of odds.
Yeah, like
when it comes
well,
to
actually,
kids.
yeah, I guess the way the pregnancy for her, it was like the odds of that all happening was like 1 in like some really high number, and then it was like then we beat the like best IUD that's like was like ultrasound and make sure it was in the right place, which was like 1 in 20,000 or something. I was like, cool. Still haven't won the lottery, but here we go. But yeah, so for whatever reason, I was overseas when she did the first ultrasound with the twins, and I was walking around this big trade show in Hong Kong, and I was like, yeah, we're having our first kid, and it's all exciting. I'm talking with the people who are with me, and I was like I'm gonna have twins. I just know it. And literally, like that night, got on the ultrasound, and it's like, there's 1 heartbeat. Oh, there's 2. And I actually have the sound recording of the ultrasound when we find out that it's 2.
Oh, that's cool.
And what's cool is on that sound recording, you can hear. So she calls her dad, who's the twin, a twin, and you hear him driving down the road, and all of a sudden it's like slams it over to the side of the road. It's obviously.
And he's like,
I guess
crap.
Being a twin, there's
an interesting connection. Yeah.
So like knowing that his daughter's having twins and what kind of connection that would mean, because my kids, the twins are inseparable now. I mean, they like choke each other out, our boys, and like it's I wake up to them like screaming and like beating each other up, and then they're like, all right, we're gonna go back to Antarctica together. I'm like, what just happened? Okay, can Daddy go back to sleep now? But I completely spaced on that for you because I was like, oh crap, could you imagine if you tried catching up to me, bro? You're like, let's go 2 to 4.
Oh my god, I would die. Oh my god.
I think I would have busted out. Like when you told me you were pregnant, I was shocked. Well, when I say you're pregnant, I'm talking about obviously
Brandy. Yeah.
But when you told me you guys are expecting, it was like shock in a way, because I was like, we kept kidding around that it'd be awesome
You
for the
guys
business
jinxed me.
if you could have a baby, because let's put out some good content. And then you do. But if you would have called me up, I think I just would have lost it, like, and just laughing.
2 of them.
Because I would have been like, oh, that it's just, because I mean, that's just a whole new level. Like, I can't even imagine people that, like have triplets, because you're like, how do you feed them all? Like, one's getting a bottle, other 2, if you're nursing, hooked. I mean, that's just a circus that I couldn't. Granted, I live in a circus, but yeah, dude, that would have been some but I don't know. I don't know why I instinctively was like, we're having twins.
You were just like, we're in line. Like, it's this, that, da, da, da. Like, I would be shocked if we didn't have twins. And I was like,
sure enough,
really? Like,
sure enough.
Alex, he nerded out. He had a whole spreadsheet on or something. He was like,
actually,
my TI-83 says.
Yeah, no, dude, don't get a 2i89 because it solves for X.
Right.
That's how you get through calculus. They were like, you didn't show your work. I'm like, but I got the right answer. So I always like, it would be like, this question was worth 5 points. You got 2. And I was like, yeah, so I didn't fail. All right. They would always be like, you need to show your work. I'm like, we live in a, like, what are you going to do when your calculator breaks? So I'd be like, I'm going to go buy a new calculator. Like, what are you talking about? I ain't going to solve this problem like doing like long division. Come on.
That's what computers
finding the
technology
area under a parabola. Like, when am I going to use that? I ain't going into that field. Like, come on. I'll hire someone who does that, but I ain't going to learn it.
That's right. Oh my God. Anyways, back to what we were saying is, so we're 8 weeks in. Brandy's in the first trimester, absolutely hating life right now. She's like nauseous, got cravings for strange things. I'll talk about that in a second. And then zero energy. She's like, I cannot get out of bed. Please.
Zero energy, homeschooling.
Oh, it's terrible.
COVID.
Yeah, the house is a disaster. And like, so I'm trying to like do the best I can and pick things up and do dishes and, stuff like that. The kids are just right behind me making a mess, and I'm like, we're just gonna have to like let this just suck for a few weeks, and because what are you gonna do? Like,
I mean, there's
everyone's happy and healthy. Like the dishes can be not done. It's not gonna be the end of the world. Like whatever.
I mean,
don't care.
I don't know if my OCD would allow that, but I resonate.
Yeah.
I resonate.
Yeah, I'm like. And plus, you and
Pick
I
your
last,
battles.
even
Pick your
this
battles.
week, you and I've been here till 10:30 at night the last few nights. So it's like I'm like whatever.
Yeah,
I'll get to it. That's
there's
life.
more. There's a few more important things in life than the dishes, or the
but
laundry, or the whatever.
Yeah, the cravings though. She was like, one night she's like, I need chicken wings. Like,
I wasn't expecting that. Okay.
I'm like, okay, and thank God, like technology. This is gonna save me. This is gonna save everybody. Let me give you the ultimate hack for pregnancy cravings. DoorDash. Like,
yeah,
we're gonna order that. I'll have it delivered. But I'm about to take the app away from her because. Well, anyway, so the first,
I'm gonna just shut down the credit card that's linked to that
like,
and be like,
can I see
it's
your
fraud.
phone? I'm deleting this app.
That's fraud.
Because stuff keeps showing up at the house. Like the other day, I came home yesterday, and I'm like, "Oh, you got some God dang it! What's that? The restaurant does like breakfast stuff. First Watch.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, got some First Watch, huh? She's like, yeah, but I couldn't eat it. I'm like, what? So, anyways, let me go back to the first story. Chicken wings.
Chicken wings.
She's like looking through DoorDash to see. She's like, where can I get chicken wings? Where can I get chicken wings? So she's like, oh, Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm like, that garbage. She's like, oh, that sounds so good. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
So like, let me figure out what I want from there. And the kids order some stuff, and they deliver DoorDash Buffalo Wild Wings, and they screwed hers up completely.
Oh.
Like, no sauce on any of the wings. She like very specifically wanted this one particular flavor. Like they all came naked, nothing on them. She's like, "Are you kidding me?" Blah, blah. And then like they screwed up Kendall. So Kendall wanted like naked wings, but they sent it with some random something on it. She's like, "I don't want this." So she's like, she ate Kendall's, but it wasn't what she wanted. Kendall ate the naked wings, fine. Cameron and I ate whatever we had. And she was so upset that she just still hadn't satisfied that craving for the wings. So the next night, chicken wings. Back to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Now, did you drive this
We
time?
went there. And I'm like, what? I'm not a fan of Buffalo Wild Wings at all. Like, maybe it's just the one here. Sucks. I've been there like 3 times. Every time it sucks. Like, unless you're going there to watch like UFC fights and drink beer because there's 5,000 TVs and it's hard to screw up a beer. Like, if you're going there to eat dinner, forget about it. It's all like, I'm not a fan.
I actually haven't been in the one here.
It's like, it's cool. Like, it's like sports bar-y, you know what I mean? Anyways, so we go there, we order chicken wings. It's a disaster. They forget this. Oh, I'll bring that back out. Da, da, da. You know, like, it's a mess. But she finally got the chicken wings she wanted, and she was somewhat satisfied. And I'm like, she's like, I'm never coming here again. I'm like, I tried to tell you the first 2 times, you know? But it's like they have that, like, there's no talking them down. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're going to get what they want, or hell's going to come, break loose. So, and then there's been a few other times where she's like, we have to have this, whatever it is, thing. And we get there and we're like pulling in the parking lot. And she's like, oh my God, I can't go in there. I'm going to throw up. I'm like, for the last 25 minutes is what you're talking about. We got everybody ready. We left the house. We got here, and now you don't want it anymore. She's like, no, I have to have this. I'm like, okay. We get there, and then it's like,
yeah,
she's satisfied. The other day we went. She had to have shepherd's pie. Out of nowhere, she's like, I'm so hungry. I'm like, yeah, it is like 1:00. Like, we should. It's like a Saturday or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, like, what do you want for lunch? I need shepherd's pie. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, where do you even, what? So she's like, yeah, I think British Open Pub has it. And I'm like, how do you know that?
Yeah, that's a little.
So she looks it up. She's
there.
like, yeah, they have it. And I'm like, all right, guess we're going to British Open Pub. So we go in there. She looks at the menu. She's like, oh, no, I want the French onion soup. I'm like, oh, no. We're getting shepherd's pie.
I know how this game works. You can order the French onion soup, but we're bringing.
So she gets the shepherd's pie. She takes one bite of it. She's like, I can't eat anymore. I'm like, what? Like, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
Like that. What? I was so frustrated.
I always got lucky because Emily always wanted Five Guys.
Yeah.
And so I literally have video of me going, and I'd be like, and
I
this is the
remember
seventh
these.
time I'm at Five Guys, but I didn't hate it. Didn't hate it.
Oh God.
One time she couldn't decide between like that and I think she wanted like a burrito bowl kind of thing.
Yeah.
In Charlotte, the like I think it was Moe's or Chipotle, I can't remember. One of those style restaurants was right next to Five Guys, and I was like, I'm gonna play my odds.
Just get both.
And I got both, and I came home and I was like, I don't know which one you said you wanted this one, but like she was like, oh, that's great, I'll have that for lunch tomorrow. I'm like, all right, done.
Yeah, it's great. It's been wild. I'm like, all right, girl, we're gonna have to figure this out because I'm not wasting money on food like this. This is outrageous.
Yeah,
like, we're done with that.
We've played the game for the first few. But yeah, no, it's there's a lot going on in there. It's crazy. So much happens in those first trimesters.
Yeah, and then it'll start to normalize. She's got a few more weeks of psychopath left.
Good thing we're playing this after the trimester. So
I know. I'll get
this might be the last video you see, Beav.
If I go missing, look for Brandy.
Exactly. Where's the boat?
Yeah,
right. Beav went boating. And,
I lost all my guns in a boating accident too, so don't look for those.
Exactly. They're at the bottom of the Atlantic. I don't know.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, anyways, it's been crazy and it's been interesting, and the kids are pumped, and I'm pumped, and I'm just excited to be able to talk about it publicly, so I can start sharing content and sharing my stories and experiences.
Yeah, because you've been, being out. Like it seems like the premise of kids and I take care of them clearly hasn't changed, but there's just so much more. There's more stuff now.
Yeah.
Like even me going like in 2 years, I was like, wait.
Yeah.
There's an changing like mat thing, but it actually works
technology,
really well.
even with like baby monitors and
yeah.
like the ankle monitor type.
Well, for better or worse on some of that though, because like some of it you're so many notifications of anything that you almost get paranoid, and you're like.
Yeah, there's just all this different stuff, and I'm excited to, look at that stuff, review that stuff, even to like give feedback for our community. Like, hey, this stroller this thing's a piece of junk, don't buy it. Like I'm gonna figure that out for everybody.
Well, because one thing we went with is like, the twins loved their car seat. It was a Bredix car seat for whatever, and they loved it. Anders hated it. We had to go with like a Chico one, and then with Thomas. Because we already had all the other kids, I was like, I got to find the lightest
car seat,
like that's like the safest, lightest. Like, I'll spend the money.
Full carbon fiber titanium.
Yeah, not that fancy, but
that's what I'm doing.
And oh gosh, Nuna baby, Nuna,
yeah.
I believe it's a Nuna, but it's like 4 pounds, and I was like, oh man, like. Why couldn't I got this other one? I'm like, like the other pound, like with the kids, it was like, always felt like it was like 25 pounds. I'm lugging around and, like a bowling ball all the time.
Yeah, you gotta go.
And the kid loves it because he like lays more flat and all these other stuff. So, there's some things you're like, yeah, I'm going to use this for, 9 months, 12 months. And then, we'll get into the reverse more, like seat that they can go forward facing. But sometimes there's certain things you're like, but when you're, in our case, when we're lugging around 3 other kids, like I'll spend the money on having it 4 pounds because I got one kid in my hand, I got a backpack on, I got this. Like it makes a world of difference. Other stuff, you're like, you don't need to warm your wipes because what's going to happen when you're out at the park and you got cold wipes? Kid's going to lose his mind. Like just put the cold wipe on them and move on. You know what I mean? So it's like, like there's some things that you're just like, it's cool they have them in that sense, but you're like.
There's a lot of things that are just straight luxury items that are not necessary.
No.
We should do a video on that.
There's a ton of stuff out there. I didn't realize. Yeah. And some things you're like, oh yeah, that's like $4. And then other things you're like, how is that like $120 for like a changing mat? And then you get it and you're like, oh, that's actually like, this thing's phenomenal. Like kid goes and it's contained and all the stuff because you got like on a changing mat, the kid actually like goes to the bathroom while you're changing that diaper and then it runs all over your floor. Like, I wish it was contained. Now I understand why I paid to have this one single thing that won't get smelly and nasty, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There's just so many options now, and it's hard to sift through.
Pretty sweet diaper bags out there. Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, here's what's interesting is like I created this brand when Kendall was born, and then she obviously grew out of it. And then like, I haven't really been able to use our own product for its actual use for most of the business life. You know what I mean?
You're like, I travel with this bag and it's
I
fantastic.
use it all the time. And we develop it for baby uses and stuff. But like, I'm just excited to be able to use our own product for baby use again. The reason I developed it to begin with.
Yeah.
And I think it'll only lead to further innovation of our products and of our brand and other new product development, things we aren't even doing right now. It'll just lead to further innovation, which I'm super excited about. Like, that is one of the things I'm like, this baby's going to be the next best thing that ever happened to the company. We're going to make all kinds of crazy new stuff and it's going to be awesome, So I'm pumped for it. Yeah,
for sure.
Cool.
It's gonna be new. It's gonna be exciting. And then when you hear that first squeal, it's all gonna come flooding back.
Ugh.
You're in that delivery room and it's just like, and you're like, what is happening?
Is that when you pull out your hearing aid? Tell them what you said last night.
Do you remember exactly? I know what you're referencing. I'm trying to remember exactly what I said though.
Well, it wasn't even really about the kids or anything, but I was like, you were like, yeah, it's just so weird. Like, my brain's still trying to get used to it. And like, I'll walk in the house and like the kids will be screaming just like so loud. I'm like, like there should be an app for that thing and you can just like turn the volume down. You're like, oh, there is, and then, and you're like, yeah, but you're gonna go in there and you make all these adjustments and like, I'm just gonna take it off. Here's my adjustment. Like, it's off.
Here's my app done. I'll go mute real fast.
Yeah.
No, I did that. Yeah, I did that. And I guess that's what I was telling you. I was like, it was just so loud. I was like, yep. Nope.
Like, this is what you hear all day. Kids screaming.
But yeah, like that newborn cry.
Oh yeah.
When they hungry, and they tell you about it. Woo. Mm-hmm. But thankfully, my Thomas is sleeping like, he's sleeping 12 hours right now, and it's like, thank you, Jesus.
I wish I could get 12 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I wish I could.
I'm exhausted. I've gotten little. I have not been sleeping well at all. I don't know why. I know. Well, like Kendall had me up the other night, had bad dreams and all these things, and coming in the room, and she was, so I put her back in bed. I get back in bed. That's at like 2 a.m. It's like 3 a.m. and I feel like I'm about to start dozing off finally. And she comes back in. I'm still having bad dreams. I'm like, back in bed. I get back in bed. And then it's like 4 a.m. I'm still like tossing, turning. The last thing I want to do is wake up Brandy because she's pregnant and irritable or whatever else. And I'm like, make sure she sleeps because she's got to deal with homeschool in the morning. And I'm going to leave. So I was like, all right, screw this. I'm just going out to the couch, and I grab my laptop, and it's like 4 a.m. I'm working. I'm looking at Facebook ads and, scrolling Instagram, and I like reply to people on DM. So like, if you were one of the persons that got like a 4 a.m. DM from me, living that dad life with you, I'm just like, not team no sleep,
exactly.
And then we were here till like 10 p.m. that night.
Yeah,
it's like 2.
That's my problem with trying to get back to sleep is like once the hamster's on the wheel, it's like. I literally I got into bed finally, which 11 p.m. is late for me now because I'm like, I'm going to be talking real early. But I'm getting in bed, and she's like, you'll be able to turn that brain off? I was like, nope. So I'll just turn on my side and stare at the wall.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you're going to be back on that train.
Wish me luck. It'll
be it's totally worth it, but man, is it going to be? It's going to be interesting to get your take on having that separation and then going back to hearing the coos and hearing the wails and hearing those awkward things. You're like, I just put them down and they're there.
Well, what's really interesting? There's like a polarizing side to this, and Jade actually brought this up earlier, talking about wife spot, but. She's like, it's like most women show their lives and talk about their experiences of like, it's everything so perfect and amazing and, all this stuff. But that's like the 1% of the time. The rest of the time, it's like, I'm sick and vomiting, or the kids are doing this, or I'm that, or, whatever. It's like a shit show. It's like just a hot mess. and you only choose to show like the most amazing and beautiful portions of it and act like that's your life, and which is a lot of social media, but I think a lot of moms in general fit into that category, where I think dads are much more like willing, like there's the great times for sure and we share those, but a lot of it's like, well, this sucks, it's 3 a.m. and freaking been up all night because the kids woke me up and now I'm thinking about work and I can't go back to sleep. And like I think that's what I like. I'm excited to share those like some of the shitty moments as well, you know, to like
You're not alone.
let people know like they're not alone. Like that's everybody. Like guess what? Everyone else has dishes stacked up in their sink and toys on the floor and sleepless nights and they ate chips for dinner because you're like, screw it. Like whatever the case is, like
trying to get through.
It's not just you.
Yeah. Well, I could imagine just in general, it doesn't matter whether it's, the mom or the dad. It's you don't want people to like judge and think that you're not kind of put together. So you want to outwardly show more of the look at how much we got it put together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to being like, wow, you guys are just, it's a disaster, and feeling like people think that you don't know how to like raise your kids or do all that other stuff, right? But it's just the nature of the beast. It doesn't mean I don't love my kids. I mean, I'm not happy with my kids if I'm talking about like it being a challenge or just sleepless or whatever else. It's like, this is facts.
Yeah.
Like
you can only get so much done. You can only do so much. And then you got to try to like take care of yourself in the middle of all of it, which I'm really bad about. And still trying to like.
So you could eventually start eating salads with this kid? We're gonna get something green. We're gonna get something green in here.
Let's not go that
far.
A
vegetable. I tried to give this man a lime and a Corona last night, and he was like, "Yeah, that's a fruit, and I'm not gonna have it ruin my beer."
He was feeding me Coronas. That's the first problem.
Hey, I had one Bud Light in my house, and I make beer bread with it. So the beer bread took
the Bud Light.
Took the Bud Light. So we're gonna probably make beer bread this weekend, and I needed a Bud Light. So you're welcome for bringing you beer. I'm sorry.
I drank them,
and I tried. And I brought Corona. I brought limes
for you. I left it for you.
I was like, I'm even gonna bring a lime. I'll show.
He brought 4 Coronas and 2 limes. I thought those were his limes.
No, I gave him the bag, and he's like, "Yeah, don't ruin my beer with fruit."
Don't contaminate my beer.
I was like, "Is it because it's green?" Like, so we're gonna get you to salad as you take care of yourself with baby 3.
We got some clean eats meals in the freezer, but
what?
Like pre-made healthy meals from the gym over there. Anyways, they're called clean eats. Anyways, I've got to do better with eating. I've been good about going to the gym. I usually go 3 days a week, sometimes 2 if there's like some scheduling conflict or something. But
I mean,
the working out does nothing for me if I don't eat right. Like I feel like I'm actually like just gaining weight because I'm just like working out and then my body's trying to hold on to what it can because it needs the extra calories to like. It's just like what
Hey.
I'm like I'd be better off not working out.
You can have Jade start meal prepping you for you. Get you some like salmon, some rice, and a salad.
That sounds awful.
What? Something green.
I mean, that's
my goal. My 2020 goal is still to get
8 veggies.
Beav.
I'm gonna have to drink my veggies. I'm gonna have to drink the veggies. Just like, give me.
I make a protein shake.
I know, but
it's spinach
awful.
in it. With spinach in it, but it's like real food blended together. You don't.
It's a shake. Yeah, you drink it. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna drink.
All right, we're gonna do that. He's gonna drink a green shake with all like real ingredients in it. We're gonna do
Sounds awful.
Hey, I used the churro protein powder from Stronger Faster, like SFH or something like that. I put we put banana, almond milk because I don't drink real milk. I can't do that anymore. I haven't had real milk in like, I don't know, 5-6 years now. Almond milk, banana. Then you got to put in the powder. You put in some cinnamon. Put in peanut butter. You put in spinach.
It sounds like the most ridiculous concoction of ingredients ever.
It's not bad.
Jeez.
Not bad. My kids even drink it. I mean, I give them a little bit because I don't want them all the extra-ness. But anyways.
Extra-ness?
Well, no, like my kids don't need to be drinking protein powder when they're 4.5.
Sure they do. That's it. We're gonna get Jade to come on here. We're gonna talk about all the fitness stuff. She's like
fitness salad in your mouth.
fitness slice of pizza in my mouth. Jade hasn't been on the podcast. People have heard about Jade.
Mm-hmm.
Jade's my lovely assistant who is an absolute rock star and a beast. Like every other female I ever talked to in the gym is so jealous. So like, she's amazing. Anyways, Jade's like fitness guru, health nut, and trying to take over the world. What are you doing? The world's toughest mudder is what she's striving to do and compete in.
Thankfully, she has that Marine background to have her keep us all in
whoop
line.
some ass.
Whoop some ass.
She just tells me what to do. And I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Anyways, all right. Speaking of food, it's lunchtime. I'm hungry. And this was fun. I'm excited to have a baby. It'll be good.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be up when you text me at 3 a.m.
Yeah. I can't wait for you to come in all tired.
Do not disturb. Travis will do a mashup with you. Like, how are you doing today? Tired. How you doing
it'll
today?
Be me.
Tired. It's going to be me in 2019, the early 2020, and then it's going to be you late 20.
Yeah, June 1st is the due date.
Yeah, so
late 2020.
You're gonna be like late 2021.
So like, me tired.
So yeah, Christmas of 2021, we'll do the mashup, and we'll see how many times on the podcast myself or you are like, "How you doing?" You're like, "Man, tired."
Yeah, like a tired counter.
Like ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
So funny. Cool.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening, watching, all that stuff. Make sure to leave likes, ratings, reviews, all the things. Actually.
You got a dad joke?
No.
Damn,
dude, I have one too.
Oh, you do? If not, I was gonna do the.
I think I screenshot it. Someone texted. Actually, great segue. Text. So we have an awesome like crazy group text message that goes to my phone with like everybody. Like right now, it's telling me 2 people have birthdays. So I'm gonna tell both of these people happy birthday right now. Done. Then. Anyway, so if you guys want to be part of this, it's a blast. I send out messages. I talk to everybody as much as possible. Like I'll get on here and like spend an hour at a time and just like chat it up with people. But if you send me a text to 843-507-5028, you can just put that phone number in your phone, shoot me a text, be like, yo, what's up? And then it'll send you a thing and you can put your name in there, so it'll save it in my phone. So you'll be able to save your information into my phone. Then when you text me, I'll know it's you. And then it's super cool. It's fun. It's a blast. And I send some like inside scoop and like pre-release type stuff. Like we got some patches coming out soon, and those people will get a crack at that first before everyone else. So, anyways, there's a little.
Did you get the dad joke?
Oh, the dad joke. Sorry, good call.
Because I got a Halloween.
I've got to dig through some.
I think it was my mom's told me this. She was like, why are the ghosts always invited to the parties? Because they bring the booze.
I sent a funny knock joke the other day, and then usually when I send a joke, I get a bunch back. So it's like, it's good. The one I sent was knock knock, who's there? Broken pencil who? Oh, never mind, it's pointless.
I think my booze one was better. Just 1 point, Alejandro.
This one was funny that someone sent back. So what's a pirate's favorite letter? Most people think it's R, but it's really C. Anyways, the jokes.
So get on the text.
Here we go.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah. This is the one I said yesterday. So a set of jumper cables walks into the bar. The bartender says, all right, I'll serve you, but don't go starting anything. Guys, thanks for listening. Make sure you leave likes, comments, ratings, reviews, all the things. I appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next episode.